Come and take it if you want it. Come and take it if you think you can. Come and take it, but I warn you, you'll have to pry it from a cold dead.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, we are back to talk about our Timney trigger one more time in this follow-up video about tuning your Timney trigger. Now, on the trigger we have three screws, two in the front and one in the back. Briefly, let's just go over what they are. This top one here, this is your backlash or over travel screw. This one is actually your weight of pull screw. This is what you tighten or loosen to adjust the pull weight on your trigger itself. And this rear one here is actually your sear engagement screw. So let's talk about this top one here, our backlash or over travel screw. When you buy a Timney trigger, you get basically a 2-page document that tells you how to put this thing in, and that's about the extent of it. And it tells you loosen the bolt, the screw to lighten the trigger, tighten the screw in to make the trigger heavier. Well, they don't tell you for shit exactly what that is. There's a brief shitty little diagram that doesn't really help you much, and I just had to start screwing with it to figure it out. So that actually, the screw they're talking about is this one right here. This is the weight of a pull screw right here. This is the big one. This is the only one that has a washer on it. So that's the one that you're going to mess with the most. These other two you're going to set once and you're never going to mess with them again. So let's, again, with this top one, the backlash or over travel screw, the way to set this properly is to cock the rifle. So you're going to put your bolt in. If I can do this without actually seeing it. You're going to cock the rifle. Then you're going to screw this all the way in. Then you're going to depress the trigger like that. And then you're going to back this screw out until the firing pin falls. So you're going to have to cock it again. And then you're going to loosen this a little bit at a time until when you do this, the firing pin fails to cock. Which basically means you're going to run your bolt and this is not going to pop out. It's actually going to stay depressed in like that. It's going to fail to reset the firing pin. So that's what that is. You're going to set that once, and basically what it is it's just engaging up in here the height of the mechanism that resets the firing pin when you run your bolt in and out of the action. So you're only going to do that once, and right here I've actually got it set a little bit looser than where it failed, so that this way it gives a nice even and repetitious firing pin reset every time. Now this bottom screw, like I said, this is actually your weight of trigger pull adjustment right here. So what you're going to do is you're going to loosen, and of course I'm going to hit the camera like a tard. You're going to loosen this this nut right here, and you're going to either screw in the screw to tighten the trigger to make the trigger heavier, or you're going to back the screw out to loosen the trigger. Right now I have this trigger set at a even 2 pounds, and it breaks at 2 pounds every time, and that's so far where I like it. So I'm not going to mess with it. Once you find where your trigger break is that you're really happy and comfortable with, then you're going to put the nut back on, and you're just going to hand tighten it down. You don't have to over tighten this or anything like that. Just hand tighten it. This way it's not loose and this doesn't move at all while you're using the gun. This rear screw here is the sear engagement screw. If you screw it in, you reduce the bearing surface between the trigger and the middle lever, thus reducing your trigger creep. Trigger creep is that excess movement in the trigger. I like to have a little bit of movement in my trigger, but if you want to tighten that up, you can tighten this screw down and you'll remove the trigger creep between the sear and the trigger itself. Now, This isn't something you really want to mess with. Right now, this is actually the factory setting on it. It seems really nice. There's not a lot of trigger creep. There's just enough take up on the trigger for me to seat my finger on it, and just enough of a pull to get the trigger to engage. So I'm very happy with the way that is. So hopefully this will aid any of you trying to set your new Timney trigger. Don't do what I do. Do not back this screw out, this top one, your back over travel screw. If you back it out too far, you'll actually have, you'll watch your bolt fail to reset the firing pin multiple times, and you'll wonder what the hell you did wrong. So make sure you don't mess with this screw or this screw from the factory. You don't need to mess with them unless you're really getting into precise tuning of your Timney trigger and you've been shooting for a long time. This is something that gunsmiths really are adept at. If you're really like me and you really enjoy messing with everything and seeing how it works, then you can start playing with these two screws. But again, be careful. The more you mess with this, the more likely are you to screw this trigger up. So just be careful, and just remember, this is your over travel screw, this is your weight of pull screw, and this is your sear engagement screw. So those are what the 3 screws on your Timney 510 trigger are. Hopefully this has been slightly helpful. As always, Semper Fi. Have a good day.
So you best not cross that line. If you want this gun, you gotta come through us and take it one shot at a time.